5 signs he's emotionally committed to you. Now, in this video, we're going to go into how to know if your man is really invested, if he really wants to have a long-term loving relationship with you, to be committed, or if he's actually just waiting for the next best thing, possibly even looking at another woman, having another woman in mind, or just not prioritizing, not fully being emotionally invested into you and into your relationship together. So go ahead and comment below. I'm ready. If you're done with having to question if your man is really ready, if he's really invested, if he's really wanting to be with you, and if you're wondering if he's actually maybe pulling away, possibly losing interest. So hi, I'm Brody Boyd, and I'm a dating and relationship expert. I've actually been helping single men for 13 years to attract the right woman for them. So I have a unique perspective into what makes the male brain tick, which we're going to be going into deeper on this video. So go ahead and subscribe for more powerful videos like this. If you like anything in the background, anything that helps you in this video, hit the bell for future videos as well, and share with a single girlfriend or another girlfriend who's struggling with her guy, not sure what's going on. This will get her much more clarity as well. So please share the wealth, and let's help more women in the world. So also make sure to watch for a special bonus secret in this video on the best type of honesty that a man can show you, the real quality honesty that's actually a sign of investment. So let's go ahead and dive right in with secret number 5, sign number 5, which is he asks you how you're feeling. He asks you how you're feeling. Now, this is so important because if a man is really invested into you, he's going to care what your emotional state is, especially if he's wondering, are you really invested in him? Are you really prioritizing the relationship? One way that he's going to do that is by actually checking in with you regularly and seeing how you're doing. And the emotional piece is so key because that shows that he's emotionally interested for himself and for you and in the relationship. And I remember when I was dating Antia, this is something I would often do a lot of, is actually when I felt things were, we were feeling disconnected, maybe we had some kind of an argument, maybe things weren't in the best place, I would ask her, how are you feeling right now? What's going on for you? And she would often share with me what she was feeling. But that was because I cared. That's because I was starting to get more emotionally invested and I wanted to know. So that's a very important sign to look for. Powerful sign number 4 is he tells you uncomfortable truths. Now, this is really key because it's easy for a guy to just tell you things like, I lied about what happened last week. I didn't actually go to the bar. I was actually going to the roller skating rink or something like that. Kind of surface level truths. That's actually can be more uncomfortable for a guy to admit that he lied. But, if he's just telling you things that he did, maybe that's not super vulnerable. That's not necessarily a sign that he's emotionally invested. He could just be using a manipulation tactic to show you, pretend like he's being honest and trying to gain your trust, or he's just, passing time. He's just trying to keep you from pulling away, from leaving him. But it doesn't necessarily mean he's fully emotionally invested. It could mean he just doesn't want to lose you, that you're an option for him, that he doesn't want to lose, but not necessarily that he's feeling that his heartstrings being pulled by you. So when he tells an uncomfortable truth, something that makes him maybe not look so good, where he's feeling vulnerable, that's more of a sign that he's being really honest with you and that he's also emotionally invested and he cares and he's actually afraid to lose you. So for example, when I was dating Antia, there was a moment where I was starting to get more emotionally invested, and I actually told her that I was starting to have feelings of love for her and I didn't want to lose her to another guy. And I wanted to be in a committed relationship, an exclusive relationship. And that was uncomfortable for me because I'd never really opened up to that level with her or with any woman really since my first relationship that ended badly. So that was vulnerable. That was uncomfortable for me to share. But because I had had more emotional investment, I was starting to build those feelings. I opened up and I shared that. And I was honest with her in that way about my feelings. So that's a good sign, especially if he's talking about his feelings, something that's uncomfortable, something that's vulnerable, maybe something that happened to him in the past, some insecurity that he has, a fear that he has. that can be a really good sign that he's starting to become much more emotionally invested in you. Now, if you haven't yet, I highly recommend joining our free Magnetize Your Man dating and relationship support Facebook group, where we're talking about all these important topics. You can post your questions, get support from our amazing community of women there. We have over 5,000 women in there right now. Highly recommend. Go to mymfbgroup.com or just go to Facebook and type in Magnetize Your Man. You'll be able to find it there as well. Highly recommend it. Next, sign number 3 is he makes positive changes for you out of his own initiative. So this is the key. Oftentimes guys will do things for you because you were asking them repeatedly, you were begging them, nagging them, some might say. And finally he says, okay, I'm going to stop drinking for a while, or I'm going to stop, hopefully not smoking. I'm going to stop doing that thing that annoys you, or making fun of you in front of the friends, or whatever it was that was bothering you about him. He finally makes that change, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's emotionally invested. It could just mean he just wants to get you off his back. And he's also just still maybe potentially just keeping you as an option. Now, however, if he's making those changes out of his own initiative, that's a great sign. That means that maybe you said at one time, maybe he just knows that's something that's important to you. He was listening and he was invested enough in you. He was committed enough. He wanted to make you happy enough. He didn't want to lose you enough that he decided to make those changes. He decided to start working out, or to start talking better about you with other people, or maybe to stop being obnoxious, or not drinking so much, or whatever it was that he knows was a standard that you have that he was not meeting. And which it is important to communicate those things. So I'm not saying like don't ever tell him those things to see if he actually does it on his own, because men aren't mind readers as much as we'd want them to be, as a lot of people aren't as well. So you have to communicate your standards at some point. Let him know what's important to you. Let him know what your values are. Let him know what your standards are. But you don't necessarily need to nag him and tell him constantly. If he doesn't step up, that's maybe a sign that he's actually not the right guy for you, and he may never get there. People don't tend to change, as is common knowledge. But if he does it on his own initiative, that's a great sign. That means he's listening. That means he was committed. And for example, when I was dating Antia, I knew it was important for her how I was dressed. She liked men that are dressed well. And when we first met, I was wearing oftentimes shorts, flip-flops, shorts that were probably too big for me, colors that didn't really work for me and my skin tone. I just didn't really have much of a clue. Baggy jeans sometimes. And not like high quality jeans. And I knew that was important to her. And, through the series of months, even years of dating her, I really committed to start dressing better and wanting to look better for her and for myself. So that was a positive change I made because I was invested. So that's a good example, things you can look for with your guy. Powerful sign number 2 is he's there for you when you're at your lowest. And it's often easy to be with somebody when things are good. They're feeling well, they're healthy, they're happy, their relationships are great, their career is great, their health is great. However, when you're having struggles in those areas, if you're having struggles in your career, your finances, your health, your friendships, your relationships with your family, emotions in general, maybe some mental health stuff also, or just feeling emotional, maybe it's that time of the month, it's harder. It can be harder for people to come close to that and to want to be around that because they don't want to feel bad. So only the people who are most emotionally invested tend to not only want to come closer, but that actually compels them to come closer, that they want to help you. They want to help you process. They want to be there for you, not in a doormat kind of way, like just, vent everything onto me and I'll just absorb and I'll be a caretaker, but that they want you to be happy. They want to support you as best they can. And so an example of this for me is when I was dating my first girlfriend, we were together for 2.5 years. Oftentimes when things would get heavy emotionally, I would tend to pull away. I would tend to ask for space, to get space, to leave, to walk out. I would come back usually, but it was not a good move on my part. And oftentimes it would make it worse. And now she would feel even more insecure or depressed or sad or whatever was going on for her. And we would get into this really bad downward spiral. And that was part of because of the emotional maturity level I was at in my heart. And I had some more healing to do from my avoidant attachment style from my childhood growing up. So obviously that relationship didn't work out. But when I met Antia and I started becoming much more emotionally invested with her, when she was feeling sad, when things were coming up, I would actually come closer to her. I would ask her more questions. How do you feel about that? What else do you feel? I would help her process them. I would actually encourage her to let out those emotions. I would encourage her to cry. I would encourage her to scream if she wanted to scream. Sometimes I remember we were driving in our car. We were going in Northern California through some forests. Mendocino, I think is that area, the city. But she would be frustrated. Something was coming up and I would just say, I would stop the car, pull over to the side of the road. And I'd say, just get out, let it out. Or I would get out of the car. I said, I'm going to get out of the car. I just want you to scream it out, let it out, get it out of your system. She would scream, let it out. And I'd say, okay, great. And then I would come back in the car and we would continue. So that was like a balance of me like wanting to help support her and protecting myself. But I was making it a priority to help her go through whatever she was going to go through. And I was there for her, even as she knew that the reason I was doing all that was because I cared about her. I wanted her to release that. So that's a good sign he's emotionally invested. When he is willing to go into the fire with you, when he wants to support you and he's not running away, he's not pulling away or telling you to stop, don't feel sad, don't cry. Oftentimes we'll hear a lot of people just say, stop crying. It's not sad. Don't worry about it. Stop crying. But it's like, no, cry, let it out. That could also take some emotional maturity on their part, and they might not be there, but as long as they're trying, that's a good sign they're emotionally invested. Now, if you haven't yet, I highly recommend getting our free Magnetize Your Man quiz to get deeper clarity on this specifically for you in your situation. We have some powerful free resources to help you attract your man, get him to commit for long-term loving relationship. And you can get that by going to mymquiz.com for completely free. We have that resource for you, or you can click in the description below this video, mymquiz.com, or you can go to our main website as well, magnetizeyourman.com. Highly recommend that if you haven't got it already, to really help you with all these things we're talking about and creating a loving long-term commitment with your man. So now let's go into powerful sign number 1, which is he helps manage your expectations through clear communication to avoid you getting hurt. So what do I mean by this? Now, oftentimes, if a man really cares about your emotions, if he's really invested, he doesn't want you to get hurt. And if you're in a relationship with somebody long enough, you'll realize that a huge component of emotional, relational happiness is managing expectations properly. So, for example, when you tell somebody you're going to be available at a certain time, that you are available at that certain time. Or if you tell them that something came up, you're not going to be available, that you clearly communicate that something came up, I'm not going to be available, rather than just ghosting or flaking on them or not showing up. And now they're really hurt. As long as you're in communication, oftentimes, I believe you could go through almost a complete relationship without having anyone get upset. It's like, that's sort of a utopian thinking, but I think that will be, if anything, one of the biggest keys to creating a happy long-term relationship where there are no arguments. There may be other reasons why you would split up, maybe values difference and other things, but at least avoiding basic arguments if you manage expectations properly. So it's a sign of emotional maturity, and it's also a sign of emotional investment when a man is willing to clearly communicate in that way and make sure you're not getting upset by him breaking your expectations. So whether that's keeping his word with something he said, a promise that he made, if he found out that he's not going to be able to do something that he said he was committed to before, that he lets you know that. If he's not fully emotionally available yet, he lets you know that. If he's dating other women, he lets you know that. If he is feeling like he's pulling away, that he actually lets you know that, because that's actually a sign that he actually doesn't want to do that. He wants to help you help the relationship. He wants to help himself help the relationship by communicating that clearly to you. So for example, when I was dating Antia, sometimes we were living in Waikiki where we met and dated for about 3 months before we moved to San Francisco Bay Area. I was in one city, Waikiki. She was living in another city on the other side of the island. And she would oftentimes be coming into Waikiki for whatever reason. She had things she was doing, and she would say, "Hey, I'm in town. I'm free to hang out if you want to hang out," or something like that. And I would oftentimes I would be working. And so I would have to communicate with her. I can't hang out. I'm working right now. And then to manage the expectations, though, I'd say, however, I can hang out later this evening, or I can hang out this Friday. So I was letting her know my availability clearly, not that I was just ghosting her, but that I would be available at a certain time when we could hang out. So I was helping manage her expectations that I wasn't just not interested in her or not interested in the relationship. I had other things going on. And that really helped her to know I was emotionally invested. I just wasn't available. I was working. And that was my top priority because I was building my company. I had to do that. So that's an example when he does communication like that with you, that he actually does care and he's not just flaking on you. I mean, if he repeatedly says things like he's constantly canceling plans, he's constantly telling you reasons why he's not available or why he's not ready to commit yet, that's probably a sign that he's actually not fully invested. But at least he's communicating that to you. So at least he cares about you on some level. But ultimately, he will have to actually step up and make you a priority with his time and his level of commitment long term, or else that could be that he isn't actually invested fully. Now, comment below. I'd love to hear, what are these signs that your man is showing you? Has he been showing you any of these signs? Is he not showing you any of these signs? Maybe what are some other signs you have questions about? Put that in the comments below. We'd love to answer your questions and hear your thoughts there. And you can do that now as well. Before we go into our bonus secret, which is he helps you to bond with his closest friends and family. This is a great sign that he's emotionally invested in the relationship. So not just that he introduces you to his friends and family. That's really easy to do. You know, anyone could do that. Even if he just sees you as friends with benefits, he could introduce you to his friends and family. He could just say, hey, this is Susie, you know, and they could just meet you and be like, okay, cool, that's Susie. Some guys, I think, even use that as a tactic to try to make you think they're invested by introducing you to all these people, but it's superficial. So the way you know he's actually emotionally invested is that he's facilitating you connecting with them on a deeper level. So he's actually making a deeper introduction. He's making sure you guys have time together to really connect. He's maybe even telling you things about them, what you're going to like about them, how you guys are going to connect. He's telling them about you, what they're going to like about you, what they should talk to you about. And he's really facilitating you guys becoming close long term. That's a great sign. That's a sign that he's actually emotionally connected to you, not just he's just checking off a box. Okay, I introduced her for my friends to stop her from thinking I'm just a player, or to stop her from thinking that I'm not really invested, which I'm not. So that's how you know he's actually serious, when he facilitates a deeper connection with those friends and family. And for example, I remember when I was dating Antia, I made sure that I was connecting her with some of my friends that I had met in Hawaii, that they were getting time to spend together, that we were even hanging out together, doing things together. And then, of course, my family also later on, and setting up Zoom calls and getting her to know them and telling her all about them and sharing stories. So that was a good sign that I was showing to her that I was actually committed and really facilitating her wanting to be part of that world that I had. Even in Hawaii, I didn't have a whole lot of friends there because I was only there for a couple months, but that I did make sure those connections happen. So if you got any value out of this video, please hit the bell to subscribe for more powerful videos like this we'll have coming up very soon to help you get a long-term happy commitment with your man, and also share it with a girlfriend who could benefit from this information as well. Let's share the wealth, change the world, make more happy relationships. And up next, I highly recommend watching the other video that I made. It'll be over here, on 5 real reasons why men respond to distance in love. So when you are actually giving them space, how effective that can actually be when a man is pulling away, when he's not giving you the signs that he's actually committed. That can be a powerful tactic, and I explain why it can be powerful to use that as well in that video. So much love. Hope this helps, and I look forward to talking to you more on our next powerful training video soon. Take care. Bye-bye.